Welcome to the Positive Sports Podcast. I'll be your host this afternoon, Ed Montana. Alongside me today, the ever ugly, the ever smart, the ever present, my brother Alex. Alex, how you doing?
I'll take that. Ugly and smart.
If you had a choice between rich, insanely rich, or insanely good looking.
Rich.
Really?
Yeah, of course.
But you're like ugly as
like that Clipper. Well, now he's not with the Clippers anymore. Now he's with the 76ers. Like him, like ugly like him.
No, worse than that.
Yeah,
that guy's not that ugly. I mean, he's ugly, but he's not that ugly.
If you don't know who we're talking about, we don't know his name.
We don't know. He's from Europe.
I'll take rich all day.
You take rich over good looks, huh?
Oh yeah, yeah, of course.
You can't use the money to become good looking.
No, and that's fine.
And you can't use the good looks to become rich.
Because guess what? If I'm ugly, I'm gonna do whatever I want. If I'm rich, I'm gonna do whatever I want. I'm not gonna care that I'm ugly.
May as well be rich.
That's right.
I don't know. That's a tough one. I think I would pick rich as well. Because then I'd have the freedom. Maybe it's because I'm used to not being very good looking as it is, right?
True.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Looks are overrated.
They are. Who needs them?
Okay, what about, okay, now let's make it 3. Insanely rich,
Okay.
but ugly and stupid.
Okay.
Insanely good looking, but broke and stupid. Or insanely smart, but ugly and broke.
You never want to be stupid. That's tough. I gotta write these down. I mean,
smart,
yeah.
Smart, good looking, or rich?
Smart, because I mean, if you're smart enough, you can become rich. Right?
Which then you could pay someone to make you good looking.
That's it. But again, see, I don't care about looks. Not my looks.
Yeah, it's not my problem. It's not like I'm looking at myself all day.
Yeah. I already got a wife, so I'm good.
I think I'd take smart.
Yeah. Right?
But I mean, when you're ridiculously stupid, you don't know you're ridiculously stupid. You just think you're like everybody else. So maybe like being ridiculously stupid isn't that bad, but we don't know it because we're not ridiculously stupid.
You know what I will take? I'll take a better hairline. I'll take that over rich.
You take that over rich, good looking. Well, that would make you better looking.
True, and smart.
And so you take a hairline over.
Hell yeah! Have you guys look at this hairline, people? I don't know what it's doing. It's like
it looks like it's running over here.
Yeah, now it's like moving east.
It looks like it's constantly caught in the wind.
I mean, look at this thing. This is the most terrifying hairline ever. Let me put this hat back on.
I can't believe you took your hat off and showed everyone your hairline.
Well, I mean, you know,
show
you what I'm working with.
You're making this podcast must-see TV, even though it's not on TV.
Mission accomplished.
Now, if we can just turn down my shirt, people will actually see it.
True. Little caution sign, you.
So,
where are we going?
I like to play in traffic. That's why I wear the shirt. So, look, the biggest news over the last week, really 2 weeks, but the NBA trade deadline came and went, and while 95% of the talk was about Anthony Davis, that ended up being a non-topic because he didn't go anywhere. No. But there were some big moves.
I agree.
Start me off with a big move, or what you think is the biggest move.
I mean, I think the biggest move has to be the 76ers getting Tobias Harris. I think that's a huge move for the 76ers.
I agree.
You know, and we'll get to the Bucks and the Raptors because they're all in the Eastern Conference. I think they all got better. But what Tobias Harris now brings to the 76ers is another scoring option. Like this guy can shoot, he can drive. I mean, you pair that up with now 76ers and their fans don't have to worry about Ben Simmons taking a shot again. Right?
Yeah, no. Now he can be, although he's not really built this way, but he can be just a true point guard.
That's it.
He can pick and roll with Embiid and use, find Butler or Harris. I mean, and you still have Rex Chapman floating around, so you've got a good outside shooter. I think it really helps a lot. Rex Chapman. No, I'm sorry. JJ Redick.
I'm sorry, bro. Rex Chapman.
I went to the Wayback Machine.
Man.
He looks just like Rex Chapman.
You went back to the Washington Bullets days.
That's right. I almost went all the way back to the ABA.
Man.
JJ Redick.
Yes.
So they still have a shooter.
Yeah.
So, I think that was a huge deal for them. And they really got him for what? Nothing?
I mean, a couple draft picks that weren't even their picks. I think one of them is theirs and the other ones are like the Hawks picks. And you left out, you didn't mention Embiid and Butler, I mean, those guys, you did you?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you didn't, no, you didn't.
Yeah, along with Rex Chapman.
Oh, yeah, okay, now I remember. But no, I mean, that's like
That's
mini,
huge.
that's a mini Big Four right there.
Yeah, it is. I mean, none of those guys, maybe with the exception of Embiid, none of them is what I would call a Big Three caliber type guy. Not the kind of guy that you would talk about with Curry and KD and LeBron. But damn, they're close. I mean, Jimmy Buckets is close.
Yeah.
And Embiid is close. And, Harris can score. I thought that was a huge deal for them.
Yeah.
Huge. And, in the beginning of the season, I think you and I both were kind of the opinion that the East was going to be fought out between the Sixers and the Celtics. And while the Sixers look like they've gotten better along the way, the Celtics look like they're getting worse.
Yeah.
They can't find a way to gel just yet. And now the big blow was Kyrie Irving getting hurt last night. Looks like he's going to be out for a bit. He'll be back this season, but he's going to be out for a stretch. And again, that team needs everybody on the court at the same time, figuring it out so that they can be as good as they were at the end of last season.
Yeah, this is my take on the Celtics. I mean, they have a lot of potential on that squad, but all
talent.
this,
it's a lot of talent.
A lot of talent, but they have the I guess veteran player in Kyrie Irving, right? The point guard, right? Who he demands the ball, right? He needs to have the ball in his hands. Right. I mean, that's just his. That's just him, right?
Right.
This falls all on Kyrie Irving's shoulders, I think, because let me tell you something. He played with the Cavaliers, got drafted by them with no LeBron, right? Whatever. He played all right. LeBron comes in, has to share the ball with him, has to share with Kevin Love, and he's not happy there, and then asked to get out. Now you get put in a situation in Boston, right? And you're surrounded by all of this talent. Now all the talk is, where are you going to go next year? So what the hell makes Kyrie Irving happy? Why would you not want to just tone down the ball hog a little bit with the Celtics, because you have so many playmakers that you can contribute to? But look, where are you going to go next season? You're going to go to the Lakers to be with LeBron again? You're going to team up with Kevin Durant and go to New York or wherever you end up going? Guess what? You're still going to have to share the freaking ball even more because you're a side of a star. Why don't you just tone it down? Don't chuck up as many shots and kind of, play a little bit of team ball, and you got players around you that can help.
Yeah, I think part of the problem for Kyrie is, and I don't think... I can't think of a time where we've seen a true point guard be a point guard and a scorer. Mm-hmm. It doesn't seem to work. The point guard needs to be a distributor. And, probably the only one to do both is Magic. And he's having a hard time getting the rest of those pieces to play with him. I don't know if he doesn't trust them. I don't know if they don't know if they just become less aggressive and therefore not as they're not working as hard to get open because they're depending on him. It's a really foggy situation. Foggy is the right word too. I think they're there,
right,
but they can't quite see through the haze. And now he's hurt, and so a team that desperately needs to get on the court and have games and figure it out now has more time with their leader out, and he's going to come back right before the playoffs. It's really a mess. They're the 5 seed right now. They'd be playing the Sixers in the first round. And as presently constructed today, the Sixers and the Celtics, that looks like an easy win to me for the Sixers. Because the Celtics, A, Kyrie's hurt, and B, they just look lost. They look lost. And for all of the magic that Brad Stevens had last year, he seems to have none this year. And I don't understand it. Something has got to change there. And you mentioned next year, and I hate all the talk about next year's free agency. And I think if you're a good team, you got to worry about this year.
Yeah.
Teams like the Knicks can talk about next year, right, where they're clearing out cap space and all this other stuff. But if you're in a playoff slot and you're as talented as the Celtics are, you need not be thinking about next year. You need to be thinking about now. So I'm not even worried about next year. Just right now, what are they going to do? I'm confused.
And Danny Ainge too, man. Like, make up your mind what you want to do with the squad. Do you want Anthony Davis or not? Get him, or you had your chance to get him, and get rid of whoever it is, whatever it's gonna be, whatever it's gonna cost to get rid of him, to get Anthony Davis. Just get rid of those players and just stick with the group.
Next time they're in Indiana, the Pacers fans will tell the Celtics who's going to get traded, like they did the Lakers this week. Did you see that?
No, wait, which one?
The Pacers fans, every time someone went to the line, like, LeBron's going to trade you.
Yeah, I think that was Brandon Ingram.
Yeah. Which, quite frankly, would be I mean, I think the Lakers are willing to throw in all 11 guys not named LeBron and Luke Walton for Anthony Davis.
I think they're stupid is what
Lakers?
What they are. Yeah, dumb.
Why?
Because they have
nothing.
They have Kuzma can play, man. He can play. I mean,
and then
Ingram, you got to get rid of. I mean, you got some players. I mean, they got some players that can play. What do you? Okay, if they get Anthony Davis, what and they get rid of 7 players, what are they going to do?
The same thing the Heat did when they got LeBron and Bosh to come join Wade. They got rid of everybody and they just threw 2 other guys out there and said, "You 3 make it happen." I don't know. I think the Lakers have to make a move. That team, the way that team is now, it's awful. It's an awful team. Kuzma is the only piece worth hanging on to aside from LeBron. And LeBron, quite frankly, he missed 17 games. He's not getting any younger. I'm not saying he's going to miss considerable time every year, but I'm not going to be surprised either if the guy misses 20 games because of this injury or that injury. I mean, he's got a lot of miles on him. And so you've got 2 guys and really nothing else. I mean, because Ingram is terrible. JaVale McGee is not a starter in the NBA. He's a starter because he's in LA. I don't even know who that other starter is.
Well, LeBron he put this team together.
He didn't put.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. LeBron picks and chooses who he wants to play with.
But all these people were here. If he picked and chose, J.R. Smith would be there.
Dude, Tyson Chandler came over and I'm tired of the fucking Lakers. I'm tired of LeBron. I'm just tired of him.
All you got to do is survive the regular season because right now they are 12 games behind the Golden State Warriors in the 10th spot. They are 2.5 behind the Clippers in the 8th spot. And quite frankly, I don't think they're going to make it.
I hope they make it and get swept in the first round.
By the Warriors?
I don't care by who. It could be by the Nuggets.
Well, it'll be the Warriors. It'll be the Warriors. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, which I didn't think they were going to make the playoffs anyway. But let's go back to the East.
I wonder if those Lakers fans are still hollering and,
high as a kite about having LeBron.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're LA fans. They don't care.
All
All they care about is being seen.
Yeah, but I think you're not hearing about them now because, number one, they're, as of now, out of the playoffs.
Right.
And LeBron's not all what it was hyped up to be, man. Plain and simple.
Look, I mean, he is pretty much by himself.
Yeah, that's fine. He's great on the court, but he's a shitty ass teammate, is what I'm saying. He's a shitty teammate. And I think it's wrong. And I just think it's wrong for those players on the Lakers, you know? I mean, those guys are young. They're trying to find themselves. And
they're trying to make a career for themselves.
No,
it's got to be incredibly difficult for Kyle Kuzma, for Brandon Ingram. It's got to be insanely difficult for those guys.
It's no different than children looking up to their parents. That's when the parents, in this case LeBron, has to step in and not be egotistical and freaking, be a leader. Plain and simple, just be a leader. We know what you can do on the court. You're the best player on the court of this generation. And you'll be in the top 5 of all time. But, goddamn, show some leadership. That's all.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like, quite frankly, it just doesn't seem like LeBron has been as vested in this team as he has been before. Like, in Cleveland in the past, and it's certainly in Miami, you'd see him on the court, and he was constantly talking and coaching and trying to figure it out with teammates. At times he almost looks disinterested at times with the Lakers, and I don't know if that's just because it's a young team and he's expecting considerable turnover in the offseason, or if that's because he's just getting older and he doesn't want to do it, or if because they're just a bunch of knuckleheads that don't listen anyway. I don't know.
Who knows? So we got off the trade wagon, right? You got the Bucks who got Mirotic from the Pelicans. I think that was
that's a good deal for them.
And the Raptors got Mark Gasol from the Grizzlies.
That's a great deal for them. Because look, both of them made themselves better in the deal, and they didn't give up a ton for it.
Right.
The Bucks are a game up on the Raptors right now in the Eastern Conference. So, those two and those two teams have been, considerably better. The Pacers are 4.5 behind the Bucks. But they've lost Oladipo. I expect them to drop and falter some.
Yeah, I know they haven't lost a lot of games or as many games as I thought they would.
They've played well without him. But I think sometimes what happens when you lose a star like that is everyone's like, all right, no, we're gonna circle the wagons and we're gonna get through this, and that only lasts so long before you start to realize, damn, we really missed that guy.
Yeah.
All it takes is one beating, and you're like, yeah. We sure could use Victor.
Right. Long faces.
Yeah. Damn. This sucks. I wish we had Oladipo in here. We were better with Oladipo.
Well, but, they're not going to last in that 3 spot. I don't think they are.
Well, the Sixers are only a game behind them. So
they're not going to last in that 3
spot. I would expect the Sixers to pass. Look, we've got a lot of basketball to play. They're about 55 games in. So there's another 25 to 30 games left for most of these teams. That's a long way to go still.
Yeah.
You got the All-Star break coming up, which gives guys a chance to recharge a little bit. And a lot of times, again, going back to the Pacers with Oladipo being out, after the All-Star game, reality starts to set in. It's like, damn, we're not that good without him. And I think you can expect them to drop. The Celtics are only 6.5 out, so they're 2 games behind them. And then there's a big drop-off to the Nets, who are 13 games out. So, really, the movement's going to be 1-2, Milwaukee or Toronto.
Right.
And then 3-4-5, you've got the Pacers, Sixers, and Celtics, which I think will end up Sixers, Pacers, Celtics.
I don't want to see 76ers, Celtics in the first round. I want that to be like a second-round game or something.
Yeah, well, the way it's going, that would be...
Yeah. That would be the matchup.
That would be in the Eastern Conference Finals. If the Sixers move up 1 spot and the Celtics stay at 4 or 5, then they'll play 4 or 5, and then when they win, they'll play Milwaukee or Toronto from 1.
Right. Yeah.
It's a tough road for the Sixers because they'd have to play Toronto in the second round. I guess once you get to the second round, they're all tough, right?
Yeah. And
so
Toronto. I mean, I'm glad to see that the Bucks, Raptors, and Phillies, the 76ers made some moves, though.
Yeah, well, the Phillies made some moves, too.
They actually did, yeah.
We'll talk about that later. But, yeah, I mean, the top 3 teams made some moves. To me, the best move of the 3 is the Sixers. But, I think the Raptors getting Gasol is a big move for them. Probably better than the Mirotic move for the Bucks. So it should be very interesting. In my opinion, unless the Celtics find it, whatever that is.
They haven't found it in 55 games, man.
Yeah, it's tough to imagine that they will, especially with Kyrie Irving being out.
Right.
To me, it's a 3-horse race now, and it's Milwaukee, Toronto, and the Sixers, which I didn't have any of those teams.
I'll say this about the 76ers. Before they got Harris, I thought they make it to the second round and then get eliminated. I think this move takes him past the second round and into the conference finals. After that, I don't know, but I think that move takes them there.
It is critical now to finish first.
Yeah, right.
Because if you finish first, you're going to face the winner of Indiana-Boston, assuming that it shakes out the way we're expecting, where Indiana drops a spot.
Yeah.
So that's an easier second-round matchup than having to face the Raptors or the Sixers, right? If you're the Raptors and Sixers and you're 2-3, yikes.
Yeah.
That's a tough second-round matchup. So as much as you say now you expect them to be in the Eastern Conference Final, hold on a second. If they move up a spot, they've got to play Toronto. It's tough either way.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll see. But it's certainly shaping up to be interesting. The bottom half, look, the Nets are at 13 games out. The Hornets 14. The Heat 15. Then you've got the Pistons, the Wizards, the Magic, blah, blah, blah. I don't see much change there. The Nets, I think the Nets are good. And, I think they're going to hold down that 6th spot. I just don't see anyone behind them that I go, oh, yeah, they're better than the Nets.
Right, somebody to look out for.
Yeah, I don't have any fear of those teams behind them if I was the Nets. I don't think the Nets are going to make much of a dent towards the top 5 either.
No.
I think I think the Nets are the classic best of the rest.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah,
and then after that, I really don't care.
I think the Nets have peaked. I think they've peaked. Now we've seen their best basketball. Probably,
That's a young squad. I think they're getting better.
It is. They need to go out there and get a.
Well, there's potential.
Prime time scorer. I don't care who it is. It's Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard. They need that type of player.
No, absolutely, they
get over.
They do need
to get to that second tier, right? You know what I mean?
Right. No, I agree with you completely. They're the best of the rest, and they need some big figure to get them into that top 5, top 4, top 2 scenario where we'd be looking at them in a Eastern Conference Finals or whatever. You've mentioned Kevin Durant a couple of times. Did you catch his tirade during the week?
No. If I did, I forgot.
So one day this week, after one of the games they played during the week, Kevin Durant sat down with the media. He had not talked to the media in a while. They asked him why he had not talked in a while, and he just blasted the media for, talking about how he's already with the Knicks or he got someone traded, he got Porzingis traded and all this other stuff. And he just basically bashed the media and then kind of berated one of the reporters that was asking him questions and then walked out. And look, with much, how does the saying go? With much talent comes much responsibility. Mm-hmm. And, if you want to go out and sign a 1-year deal to give yourself the flexibility of going into free agency, right? You're doing that for yourself and your brand, then don't get pissed off when people ask questions about free agency, right? Because you did it to yourself.
Yeah,
right?
But the media is constantly. How many times do you have to ask this guy about free agency and where he's going? It's bad enough that
until he signs a long-term contract to go somewhere. They're gonna ask him, "What's the big deal?"
They're not gonna get. But here's the thing: they're not gonna get an answer out of him until July 1st.
They're gonna get some sound bite.
Okay, and do you think they got it this week?
Yeah, and I think he came across as a complete ass.
Okay, and do you think the media is going to go back and revisit the same question before the season's over, okay, then the media's being a complete dick about it too.
No,
I mean, plain and simple.
They're doing their job.
No, that's not their job.
If he doesn't want, look,
that's not the media's job.
Are you curious where Kevin Durant's going to go next year?
Right now, no.
Bullshit.
Right now, no.
Bullshit.
We're
all curious.
But do you know? Do I know where he's going to go? Do I have any sources that say where he's going to go?
I'm not saying that, but you want to know. I want to know. I want to know. I want to know what the deal is with Kyrie.
Are you gonna know?
Man, if he gives me some insight, I want to know.
Right, but are you gonna know?
I want to know where Anthony Davis is going.
Right, but are you going to know?
No, I'm never going to know. But that's what
knows.
That's what piques the curiosity and interest of the fans, and that's what the media is doing. They're playing to that interest because look, in the NBA nowadays, we hear it all the time. The Knicks made a deal where they sent their best player to the Mavericks for not much and some draft picks, and all we talked about was, man, the Knicks cleared some cap space for 2019 free agency.
Right.
That's the way it goes in the NBA. We care about free agency almost as much as we care about the trade that happened today.
So you think the media is saying that Kevin Durant made that trade happen?
I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is the media is going to ask questions about your impending free agency. If you didn't want those questions to happen, you should have signed a long-term deal. And look, I'm not saying sign a long-term deal. You're doing what's best for you. I agree. Wholeheartedly do that. But then don't get chippy with the media when they ask you questions about the very deal that you made.
Why didn't they ask this question earlier in the season?
They've been asking all year. Remember earlier in the season when they had the whole spat with him and Draymond? It was all about free agency. It was, Draymond Green said that he doesn't want to be here anymore because he's looking to leave. And Durant's like, nah, everything's fine. We're going to go for a title. And look, that's just the way it is. You made this bed. Don't get mad at the people that want you to lay in it.
That's why I like Marshawn Lynch so damn much. Because he sticks it to the media. And I'm glad that Durant came out and spoke like that because the media is going to twist and turn things, and they're just going to ask questions just because they feel that they have the not the authority, but they just
interest of the fans.
They just have. We have Twitter, we have Facebook, we have Reddit, we have all these outlets. Guess what? We don't need to hear questions of the media. We just go on Twitter and we see everything there. So that is the interest of the fans. I could care less as a fan. I can care less about as a fan.
That's not even close to true, Alex.
As a fan, I can care less what questions they have to ask these players.
Do you ever watch a game on ESPN?
Yes.
On ABC?
Yes.
On TNT?
Yes.
Okay. Do you ever listen to the commentary?
Not really.
That's the media.
Okay, well, not really.
So
I don't listen to that.
But you're not. So my point is, you're not getting everything from Twitter.
Sure, you are. You know why? Because I can go on Twitter right now, and I can see whatever game is happening right now. Yeah, I can see updates on here, and I don't have to watch the game.
And who are you getting those tweets from? The media.
Or I can go to NBA. No, it's not the media. It's NBA.com or whatever. I don't need...
NBA.com has a reporter that is reporting to you what's being said and what's happening on the court.
Okay, Ed. I can go on the freaking app and get my information that way.
But again, my point is, this is what they're doing, is they're feeding the fans. And again, I don't have a problem with him signing a one-year deal. I don't even have a problem with him not liking the questions. My problem is, don't berate the media that's trying to do their job, asking a question that, if you hate this question so much, you could have avoided it by signing a long-term deal.
So it's the media's job to ask the same question throughout an 82-game season that lasts 6 months long, when the media is not going to know the answer until July 1st. That sounds retarded.
It's the media's job to ask the question that fans want to know the answers to. And in the NBA, unlike other sports, in the NBA, we care about free agency almost as much as we care about what's happening right now. Anthony Davis is on a team that's not even going to make the playoffs. And we're talking about Anthony Davis and where he's going to go next year, and is he going to sign a long-term deal? Is he going to get traded? We talk That was the talk of the trade deadline.
Okay.
Was Anthony Davis, a guy who's not even going to sniff the playoffs this year. So what my point is, as fans and as whatever you want to call it, in basketball circles, we care about free agency just as much as we care about the current season, because that's how teams are built, right? You get these big threes built, and right, that's how it happens, right? What was the biggest event of the 2006 season? Do you even know who won? No, but you know LeBron James, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade teamed up in Miami, right? That's my point. Is those things are just as important, if not more important, than the actual season itself.
You think
it's crazy?
You think the media asked LeBron in his walk year from before he went to Cleveland? You think they asked him all freaking
they asked him
year long?
They asked him a lot about where he was going to go.
I think you're giving way too much credit to the media. I think the media has a way of twisting and turning things, and they're annoying. I personally think they're annoying, and I don't even get asked the questions. So, I mean,
I can't even imagine you at the podium.
I would.
Alex, what are you going to do the Positive Sports Podcast next year?
Fuck yeah.
Sweet, we know where he's going.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just don't think it's necessary to berate media members.
Yeah, but you know what? Another thing.
I understand it's frustrating.
These guys get paid millions of dollars, like bajillions of dollars, okay? And they still have feelings. They still have a family to go to. They still, at the end of the day, they're not just basketball players, right? LeBron says
human
it.
Beings.
They're more than athletes. So I think the media just needs to back off a little bit. How about make it more interesting for the fans and ask a different question? That to me as a fan would be more interesting. But guess what? That's why I heard a quick clip of that, and I didn't hear the whole thing because I really didn't care what he had to say. I don't care what the question was, because at the end of the day, he wasn't gonna tell me in that clip, well, I'm thinking about going to New York.
I understand that, Alex, but you have to understand you're in the minority.
I don't think
more basketball fans cared about what he had to say than you.
But I don't know. Maybe
I think in general, because that's why the media asks the question, because it gets them clicks on ESPN.com or Yahoo Sports, because it gets them to watch, First Take or whatever shows on ESPN or Fox Sports. It's kind of quote unquote what sells.
Yeah.
So you're right. He's a human being, and he should be treated not just like a basketball player. That media person is also a human being. That media person is trying to do his $60,000 a year job.
The media is kind of like how Mom says, crooks with titles. You know what I mean? They I wouldn't fully trust them. There's a reason why.
I don't. I'm not saying that they're completely trustworthy or that they're the saint here. They do their fair share of wrong. My point is, he doesn't need to get pissed off at people asking the question because of the very transaction that he committed. It's like the criminal being mad at the judge for sentencing him after the jury found him guilty. Hey, look, man, if you didn't want to get sentenced for a crime, don't do the crime.
I guess.
Anyway, so
let us know. I want to hear the fans' perspective of this, because I think it's interesting, right?
It is very interesting.
Especially since I think, or you say I'm in the minority, which you're probably right. I probably am in the minority. Let us know. Drop a comment below if you guys heard Kevin Durant's comments this week after the media tried to belittle him. In my opinion,
the same question.
Yeah, it's about free agency. Are you guys with me in the minority, or do you guys agree with Ed that the media is just doing their jobs and Kevin Durant needs to not be a baby about it? Let us know. Drop a comment below.
And if you're going to drop a comment, you can email the show at positivesports10@gmail.com, positivesports10@gmail.com. You can catch the show on YouTube, iTunes, Podbean, Google Play. I lose track of all these places.
Me too. It's only 4 of them.
But whatever. And if you want to get a hold of us, they can get a hold of you.
Somewhere on Twitter, just look for Brooklyn Gaucho.
One of the Brooklyn Gauchos.
Yeah, they're there. And if, make sure you follow the Positive Sports 6
It's
on
up and
Twitter.
running?
It's running.
It's running, baby.
It's up.
Running.
I don't know about running.
You can reach me on Twitter as well at eMontana21.
Yep.
So as we look a little bit further at the West, as we've talked about the East, the West is shaping up to be interesting. It is pretty much the way we expected. I guess the one big surprise there is Denver being as high as the 2 seed. I don't think anyone really had that in their crystal ball.
Do you see Denver as a threat?
You know, it's hard for me to see anyone as a threat to the Warriors at the end of the day.
Yeah.
The Warriors just look... I mean, they just look like a mini all-star team, really.
Even when they look bad, they
look good.
They look good.
Yeah,
and they find a way. I mean, they were down like 20-something to the Suns on Friday night, and you know.
Suns.
Yeah, but still, you're down 20. I mean,
Yeah.
you still have to make a comeback.
Right. Well, you've got the Warriors. They're 2.5 up on the Nuggets. I don't think the Nuggets are going to catch them. I think the Nuggets are having an exceptional year. Jokic is the guy's the real deal.
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
He looks a little pudgy to me, but he's the real deal for sure.
If he can get on a good strict diet this summer,
I don't think it hurts him at all. It's not like he's sluggish in the fourth quarter.
But it's gonna hurt if you have to play the Warriors because that's a run and gun team.
Yeah,
so it's
true.
You're gonna need some cardio.
And then at 3, you have the Oklahoma City Thunder just a game behind them. The Trailblazers at 4, which how are they 4th? I mean, they're 6.5 back, so they're a ways back. But
wow,
I don't know how they're 4th because they have some games where they are atrocious. Wow. And they're not good on the road.
That has to be the quietest
4 seed
ever.
ever.
Wow. I didn't realize. I mean, I knew there were playoffs, but
Yeah.
I didn't think there were 4. And
Yeah.
I mean, they get a home series.
And right now they would get that series against the Rockets, who are just a game behind them, so that could very easily flip. The Rockets are a hard team to read because all they ever talk about is James Harden. And look, there's plenty to talk about there because the guy is a scoring machine. He's having one of the most incredible scoring seasons we've seen in a long time.
I've never seen anything like that.
But there's issues there. Losing Capella for a while is a problem.
Yeah.
They've got Chris Paul, who's a necessary piece to that team, but fragile health-wise. And defensively, they're not good, which when you get to the playoffs, the games tend to get a little bit tighter. The refs don't call quite as many fouls. The game gets a little more physical. That does not play into the hands of their strength. And quite frankly, if they have to play the Blazers have their number in the playoffs. So that's probably one of the most interesting 4 or 5 possibilities out there. Because if I'm the NBA, I want James Harden to make it to the finals. Well, maybe not past the Warriors.
No.
But I'd love to see him play the Warriors. If you're the NBA, as much fun as it has been to watch James Harden, I bet you they'd love to see him go farther than CJ McCollum.
That's like fingernails to a chalkboard. Ugh.
Dude.
No, I don't want to see the Rockets.
Because you don't like him, but James Harden is. People are just thrilled with this scoring.
Yeah, but I want to see
rampage he's on.
I want to see a team that actually has a chance.
Oh, I agree.
I don't want to see one player and
I agree, but to the casual fan watching a guy just drop threes, breaking ankles left and right, people love it. At 6, you got the Utah Jazz, just a half game behind the Rockets. So there could be some serious movement there. And then the Spurs are the 7th seed at 9 games out, a game behind the Jazz, and then a half game behind them. The Clippers in the 8th seed. I'm kind of surprised that the Clippers made the Harris trade when they're still fighting for a playoff spot.
Well, I think they're one of the teams that are definitely trying to clear some space for
true.
For the summer.
That's true. And then behind them in the not quite in the playoff category, you've got the Kings, the Lakers. So the Lakers are 2.5 games out of a playoff spot right now.
Okay.
And then you've got Dallas, Minnesota, New Orleans, blah, 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 blah.
Kings are a sleeper team. I like watching that Kings team. I've watched a couple of their games, believe it or not, because I stay up late. I stay up late at night, and I enjoy watching that team, man. If they can somehow grab a veteran player that can, mesh with their running.
They're a pretty good team.
But
I don't know that they're going to make the playoffs. Although the Clippers may drop off now without Harris.
And even if the Kings do, obviously they're probably first rounding out, right?
Yeah, because they got to play.
The West to me is a 3-team race.
I would agree with that.
I don't see any one of those two other teams that I believe beating the Warriors, but the Nuggets and the Thunder are good teams. I think that's exactly how they should be 1, 2, and 3. I think after that, to me, the teams are just are mediocre. I don't think they're that good.
I think the Rockets, completely healthy, could give anyone a run for their money, including the Thunder, including the Warriors. The only other team that I think could give the Warriors a run for their money is the Thunder. I don't think the Nuggets are quite there, even though they have a better record than the Thunder. I think the Thunder could. That tandem of Westbrook and George is as formidable a twosome as there is out there, and defensively they play well. They came back and beat the Rockets after being down 26 last night.
Yeah.
They're never out of a game.
That was a great game, by the way.
Yeah, they've done stuff similar to that a couple times this season. They're a good basketball team.
Yeah.
And I could see them giving the Warriors a run for their money. Look, anyone you ask, if they had to put down a significant amount of money, they'd bet it on the Warriors. So I get it. And I would too. But I'm trying to find a challenger here that would be worthy, that would make a Western Conference final interesting. And I think the Rockets fully healthy would be one. And right now, the way they are right now, I think the Thunder could give them a run for their money.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with the Thunder. I mean, I think the Rockets had their chance last year fully healthy.
Until Game 7.
Well, until Game 7, but I mean, they had the MVP, James Harden, who scores all these points and then, goes 1 for 11 from 3 points. So, I'm just not sold on the guy, man.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. He plays great basketball. That style, I think, is just doesn't help the rest of the team. It just doesn't.
It doesn't work, and it does not work as well in the playoffs as it does.
No, you need to play some defense.
When you're face to face with a team every other day for a week or 2 weeks, which is what happens in a 7-game series, it's hard. Yeah. It's hard to do that over and over and over again.
Yeah, when I kind of compare Paul George and James Harden because all of a sudden Paul George has come out of nowhere and all of a sudden is in the MVP talks. I mean, if you look at his last,
he's having a great season.
If you look at his last 25 games, I mean, he's like averaging more than 30, which James Harden's been doing that for longer than 25 games, but still, I mean, he's kind of come out of nowhere, and Paul George plays defense, which is something that Harden doesn't do very much.
Paul George, I think, is an underrated basketball player. I think he has been, in his time in Indiana certainly was, and then coming over to OKC, maybe OKC's just not the biggest market, but I think he's been underrated for a while. You
know what I would like to see? I would like to see Kevin Durant go back to the Thunder because I think
that would be a nice big three.
I think the Thunder have a great fan base. They really do.
Yeah, well, they're the only show in town, right?
But I mean,
which helps.
Yeah, but you think of Oklahoma. I mean, who the hell goes to Oklahoma?
Right.
Honestly, right?
No, I get it.
But I think it, and not only that, I think Kevin Durant would be welcomed back because the fans.
Yeah, well, when you've got that much talent, come on back.
And he would almost save himself because if he goes somewhere else, he's probably he's going to get more of the snake talk and that kind of. But from a basketball point. Man, that'd be a decent team, and you got Samuel Adams, and playing center. I mean, that would be a nice.
That would be a formidable team.
Yeah, that'd be
very
nice
formidable.
Squad.
Well, and addition by subtraction too, right? It would kind of bring the Warriors a little bit more down to earth,
right?
Which would make it much more interesting. I would love to see him back in OKC. Yeah. I think him and Westbrook together. I loved watching them together.
I mean, think about it. Westbrook and Kevin Durant alone almost beat the freaking Warriors. I mean, they were up 3-1 on them.
Now you got Paul George.
Now you got Paul George. You know.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty sweet, I think.
Oh God, I hope they make that trade right now. I want to see that right now. That would be awesome.
Why don't you get the microphone and ask Durant what he thinks about? Why don't you be the media guy
I wish someone would have asked him about that. Hey man, you ever think about going back to OKC?
Yeah.
That would be awesome. Poor Anthony Davis got fined for tampering, which I don't understand.
He got fined?
I think he got fined. Which I don't understand how that happens. Isn't any talk of anything considered tampering? Like the moment he said trade me, his trade value went down. Now the Pelicans can't get as much for him as they could before. So isn't that in effect tampering? Isn't it, anytime you say anything, isn't it considered tampering? Like, where do you draw the line?
I mean, you would have to ask Magic Johnson. He knows all about tampering.
Yeah.
He knows what it takes to get fined tampering. Did you see today, Ben Simmons wants to work with Magic Johnson this offseason, talk big guard secrets. Now, isn't that tampering?
To me, that's tampering.
That's tampering.
Right? Because he's trying to make nice so that maybe he can get traded over there. See, to me, anytime you even mention another team, like if you say after the game, like after the Lakers-Sixers game today, if LeBron says, yeah, that Harris guy's pretty good. Tampering.
Tampering.
I mean, it's all tampering. It's all tampering.
Yeah?
I don't understand the tampering rules.
When is Magic Johnson going to learn anyway? I mean, how many times? I mean, he's been tampered for like quite a few seasons now. Has he not?
He doesn't give a shit. He's Magic, bro. He just makes it disappear.
Yeah, like Houdini. By the way, speaking of the Lakers real quick, Lonzo Ball, out of the 3 balls, I think the youngest one is going to benefit so much from all this. No,
LaMelo?
LaMelo. Seriously, I think he's going to benefit so much from all this bullshit that's happening, right? So the second son, he's in the middle. He looks like he's
not that interested.
Not that interested. He likes the life. Right. He doesn't want to put the work in, right? So all these mistakes that Dad and Lonzo are doing, I think the little one is watching, and I think he's gonna benefit. He's gonna know what not to do and what not to listen to from Daddy.
The problem, you know what I mean? The problem is that someone in the media will always put a fucking microphone in front of LeVar's face. That's the problem. That guy will not shut
So who do you fault there?
I fault the media for asking.
Thank you.
But I fault him more for talking.
Shut up! You are such. Yeah. It's the media, damn it!
Because people like to hear the shit that comes out of his mouth. But I think it's pure shit. I think you and I are in the minority.
Negative. I don't think anyone wants to hear what this guy has to say because you know why?
Talk to him.
You know why, bro? Because it's old at this point. Well, it's completely old.
But here's the difference. LeVar is not a player in the NBA, whereas Kevin Durant is. That's the difference.
Right, but he is getting... But the media is making him more popular than a player. You agree with me?
I wish he would go away.
Fans, I know I told you to comment earlier. I think Ed now agrees with me. That the media...
On that one, I do.
It are slime balls.
No, I agree with you on that
one.
Oh,
you get it? Slime balls? No, that was corny. I know dad jokes. Sorry. My kids tell me that all the time. I try to make a funny joke, and then my youngest one is like, that's a horrible dad joke. Well, fucking thank you.
I'm a dad, so that means it's good for me.
Listen, I brought you into this world. I'll take you out. Was that Bill Cosby? I think that was Bill Cosby one time.
I think so. Let's not bring up Bill Cosby.
Hey man, listen, I don't care what he did. I enjoyed watching the Cosby Show when I was younger. So
I don't even admit to that. You got anything else for the show? We beat the hell out of the NBA.
We sure did. I don't have anything.
And the media.
I don't mind that so much.
We beat the hell out of the NBA and the media. February 10th, and still no signed deal for Bryce Harper and Manny Machado. Holy shit. At this point, I don't even care where they go. I'm more interested in what does it really mean? Like, what is going on that those two have not signed a deal on February? Pitchers and catchers report this week, and these two still don't have a spring training camp to go to. Like, they don't know if they're going to Florida or Arizona. They don't know where in Florida or where in Arizona. They don't know. It's amazing to me. I wonder why this is taking place.
Now that you mention, I so wish that the Phillies didn't have stupid money. Like, let's eliminate the Phillies, right? Let's just make believe they weren't in play for these guys.
Why? I mean, it's still a crapshoot.
No. Let's just make believe, take the Phillies out of this equation because they're the ones with stupid money. None of these other teams feel that they're worth what they want to get paid.
Well, but apparently the Phillies aren't either because the Phillies haven't thrown the whole truck at them yet.
Because they're waiting. They're waiting for that one team to up the offer, and then they'll come in and you know.
But
right?
It's February 10th, right? What, are they not? I mean, surely they don't need spring training, but like, at what point is it too late to sign them? Like if they're free agents on opening day, like, are teams still negotiating? Are they like coming in June and shit, just all rested while everyone else is already a little tired?
I wonder if the handful of teams that are in them both, I wonder if they carry 24 going into the season, right? Just in case they sign.
No, you carry 25 if you sign them. You ditch that 25th guy like that.
Yeah.
Hey, Bobby, you're going down to AAA. Why? I've played great so far in the spring.
We signed Bryce Harper.
Yeah, you're not going to be our shortstop anymore. Why? I went 3 for 5 yesterday. We just signed Manny Machado.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell. I mean, it has to be the money is the only thing I can think. I mean, it's got to be,
and at
right?
this point, I don't even hear them going on a visit to this team or that team. I don't hear anything.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They visited.
They've done everything.
Right. So now it's just a matter of the agents
trying to make a little more money.
Who are just like the media. I mean, it's got to be, right?
I'm amazed. I'm absolutely amazed at this point.
So real quick, this is podcast number 62.
Yeah.
I'm real good with math. Next podcast next week will be number 63.
Wow.
I know. I blew your ears off.
Can't get anything past you.
Do either of these sign before the next podcast? I'll take that as a no.
I mean, I thought they would have signed by now. I don't know what we're waiting for. What does that say about free agency? Like, what is, what I'm trying to figure out if this says something about Bryce Harper and Manny Machado, both of which are not talked about as the greatest teammates ever.
Right.
Or does it say something about the free agency process? Is it broken? Is it not working? Are teams... My concern would be, from a legal standpoint, for MLB, are teams colluding? Are they working together to say, look, I mean, if you really want to offer him $400 million, go ahead, but we're going to stay at $300. Mm-hmm. If you want to, let's give him the same deal and see, wherever he goes, he goes. I don't know.
Do you think this hurts Mike Trout in a couple years?
Yes.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, right?
Right, because now teams are going to be like, well, we can wait.
Right.
We don't have to. We'll make him an offer, and then we'll wait. And he's going to wait because he's going to keep shopping it around, so we'll wait. Like, if you're the Yankees next year or 2 years from now, whenever Mike Trout comes along, do you have to jump in November 15th? I mean, do you have to take him to fucking Rockefeller Center and see the tree in December? No. You got all of January and February, apparently. I don't know. Things are changing.
I was fine with it up until like a couple weeks ago because I'm like, oh, this keeps baseball in the news, kind of, as a fan, the suspense or the, this and that. But now it's like, shit, with the reporting this week, you kind of already want to know, right? And plus, I need to plan for fantasy baseball. I mean, come on, guys. Seriously, that is what is important here.
It's amazing. Amazing. Maybe they're trying to avoid spring training like football. Try to avoid training camp.
Yeah.
I don't know.
62.
All right, man. 62. Your famous 62.
I have no freaking clue.
Neither do I.
I don't know. It's 62.
Once you pass 50, this gets really hard. F it. No famous 62s.
Yeah, I don't know.
Watch some really famous 62 reach out to us and be like, what the fuck? You forgot about me. I'm a Hall of Famer. Sorry.
We could have cheated and looked it up.
Nah.
Let us know if you guys have a famous 62.
If you have a famous 62, let us know. Reach out to the show via email, positivesports10@gmail.com. Positivesports10@gmail.com. If you want to get a hold of me, you can do so on Twitter @emontana21. If you want to get a hold of this guy,
somewhere on Twitter @Brooklyn Gaucho.
I love it when you do that. You got a shout out?
My shout out goes to Paul George, man. I mean, what he's been doing lately, I think, is amazing. He's moved into the MVP talk. I don't think he was, first few months of the season. Just what he did in the summer, went back to Oklahoma City, playing alongside, Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook is not having the greatest season by any means. Although I think he's probably still averaging a triple-double, but he's not having the type of seasons that he was having last year or 2 years ago. Paul George has really picked up the slack for that team and is pretty much has carried them into a 3 seed. So
yeah,
shout out to PG-13.
He has been unbelievable, quietly putting together an MVP season. My shout out goes to 2 ladies. One who is retiring, one who is just bursting onto the scene and continues to impress. Lindsey Vonn is running in her last few ski races this past weekend. She crashed out of the first one and ended up with a bronze medal, I believe, at the Downhill World Championships. Lindsey Vonn, if people don't know skiing, that chick has had an amazing career. She's won several world championships in the Super G and the giant slalom and downhill, all the disciplines. She's an incredible skier in a sport that is you have to be absolutely fearless to push the boundaries and the limits of speed on a mountain. She has done it for a long time, and she has done it really well. And the other one is Chloe Kim. We heard of Chloe Kim in the half pipe at the Olympics where she won the gold. She won another world championship this weekend. She continues to impress. Very young gal, but she is a heck of a snowboarder. Again, the amount of courage it takes to do all those spins and flips and all that other stuff in the air, it's amazing. I love watching that stuff. It is neato. So my shout out goes to those 2 ladies this week. And with that, folks, we've come to the end of another episode of the Positive Sports Podcast. Thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate your time and listening to us and sharing your thoughts with us. And as always, folks, ignore the negativity. Be the positivity.
Peace.